am in Jefferson County, and I think Extension is the only group that goes by county. So my office is in Rigby, and I'm so glad to be with you tonight. This is always so much fun for us. So our sponsor this year is the Mint Commission, and they pay for a lot of the supplies, and we did this last night in Rexburg, and they paid for the facility as well. And then along with that, they give us some gifts, and we're going to go talk about the oils that you got and how to use those. And I love mint, and mint has so many really great properties, and we'll talk about those, a little bit of things that you can do with mint and why it's so good for us. But I think I'll go ahead. I don't have enough time to make both the drink and the dessert, so I'm going to make the drink for you, then we will talk about the dessert and how to make some changes. I really like a refreshing drink, and one that is, this one is healthy and pretty low calorie as well. We're going to make, if you'll pull out the green, your green, so appropriate for mint, isn't it? So if you'll pull out your green sheet, and turn to the blueberry mint lemonade. This is what we're going to make. So you'll need a blender, and I use this blender all the time. I just think you kind of get what you pay for. This is a pretty sturdy blender. We make lots of smoothies in it. And in this blender, we're going to put 2 cups of blueberries. You can use any kind of berry that you would like. So if you have raspberries in the freezer or any kind of mixture, you can use any berry. I would caution you to be careful with huckleberries. Plus, who's going to put 2 cups of huckleberries in here without feeling pain? But huckleberries are very strong flavored. So if you mix those with raspberries, that would be a nice mixture as well. Anyway, this time of year, blueberries are very inexpensive, and these were frozen. Then we are going to put, I'm going to put the lemon juice in, 1 1/2 cups. This is fresh lemon juice. I didn't bring it tonight, but I use a really great hand squeezer. It's from Pampered Chef, but lots of companies have them. That turns the lemon inside out, and it's really quick, and you get all the juice out of it. And our door prize tonight is electric one. After I did this, I thought, whew, I need that. So I'm going to put a fresh lemon juice in. You can use bottled lemon juice, but there's nothing more flavorful than fresh. I really like the flavor of fresh lemon. And since it's the lemonade, that's what we're going to do. The next thing is mint. So when you buy your mint, most of the mint you buy in the store is right now spearmint. Rarely you see peppermint. I have mint out in my garden, and as Katie talked about that before, be careful where you plant the mint, because it turns into a noxious weed really quickly. So put it in the pot or put it way out. I have mine way out. We cannot use, of course, the products that we grow in our own home. We have to purchase the items that we give to you. So this is spearmint, and the original recipe, if you want to write this in, that's up to you, called for the whole thing. I tried this several times. I took it to my office and had everybody try it at the office as well. We thought that that was pretty minty. So I said half. So we're going to use half of the mint leaves. A few stems are okay. And I'm going to chop these up a little bit before I put them in my blender. You can smell that already. Doesn't that smell wonderful? Put this in our blender. And I'm going to blend this for just a minute until it's a deep purple. Okay, white. That looks pretty good. While that is mixing, I'm going to put the 1 cup of sugar into my water and mix this around. I like this pitcher so much. This is really great for juice as well. This is a Pampered Chef as well. The things I'm using tonight, I kind of like a lot of different things, but we have a lady that comes into our office that sells this, and so I just thought it would be pretty. And I like, they have really good quality things too. So we don't promote certain brands, but this just happens to be that. So here's our sugar into our water. Now we have our pulp. I'm going to make sure it's all blended pretty well. On your pulp, we are going to pour this through a strainer, and this will take out the leaves, and of course we use blueberries, and we just want the juice. Pour this in. Use a spatula to scrape it around. And as this is straining, that'll take a minute. This is a recipe that is meant to go over ice. So I have my glass right here filled with ice, and what we are going to taste tonight, they have so many lovely dispensers now. So we're going to add ice to that. There's already some ice in there. We'll put a little bit more. It's very concentrated still right now. So this is 4 to 5 cups of water. I would encourage you to use the 5. And you don't have to. You can just, taste it and see what you think. And then add to taste. Recipes so often are to taste. So this is still dripping just a little bit. And I'm going to add my juice, after I get the pulp out of here, to my water. And then we'll let that drain. Okay, good balance. I think this is such a pretty and festive color for this time of year. Stir this around a little bit. Perfect. Add it to a glass with ice. And if you want some garnish, what is prettier than a little bit of mint and some berries? And it is really, this is a little on the tart side. I like it tart. If you'd like to add more sugar, you're certainly welcome to do that. That is definitely to taste. Let me tell you a little bit about what you have in your bag. So you have some items in your bag, and one of those, you'll wonder, what is that? This is a little vial of mint. When I first got these, I was so impressed. The Mint Commission sponsored us, and they actually drove this to us and hand gave it to me in their car. The Mint Commission car pulled up to my office and gave us this little box of mint oils, and I was going, whew, how impressive. I mean, they're from Caldwell. So do you think this is not very much? But it is double distilled. And he told me that in an email. He says, make sure you tell him it's double distilled. I did not get the significance of that until I tried, working with it a little bit. So the day I was working on the lemonade, I could not get fresh mint. And of course, this is mint oil. They could not send us fresh mint to give you because of the time of year. And so they gave us mint oil. I took this and I thought, well, I looked online about what the concentration was, and I put 4 drops of mint oil in there. And then I tasted it and I just had tears. It was so strong. And you don't think that's a lot, but it really is. So 1 drop did it. So if I was going to do this without the fresh mint, 1 drop. And what I found that works really great is a little 1cc syringe. You can get these at the drugstore. You can also get them at Cal Ranch. It doesn't really, as long as it's clean, it doesn't really matter. And I like it because you can pull it out of your little bottle. This is about a half a bottle. And then you can measure it 1 drop at a time. That's really great. If you're super desperate, you can use a washed out food coloring dropper. And I was desperate at one moment, and that works okay. It's really hard to get in as well. That's a good way to use your oils. One thing that's great about the oil they gave you, it's peppermint. And peppermint is very seasonal right now. You can use it in your candies, in your bakings, and so many of your things. Just remember, it's very concentrated. Mint has lots of other properties. It's very good for the digestive system, for relaxes and calms your stomach, and it's very good that way. It's good for cold sores. It's really good for your immune system. It's very great for allergies. It's good for colds. There's so many things that mint is good for. And so if you Google it and or look up the properties of mint, mint has so many great properties to it. So this drink right here is blueberries, which has lots of antioxidants. All berries do. And it has lemon juice, which is fresh. And then we have some mint, and that would be refreshing, not only really healthy and a cleansing drink. And very festive for this time of year. The next thing I'm going to talk about, if you'll switch over to your dessert, I'm just going to show this to you. We're not going to make it. This is a double batch of this. And I have used mint in this as well. On your crust, let's make some changes. This is pretty important. When I got the mint oil on Friday, and I was gone last week to Boise, and we ran these off on, the week before. So I hadn't tried it. This is really important. When you make your crust out of cookies, I like to use the thin cookies because the thick ones just seemed like it had a lot of cream in it. And I wanted something that was a little bit lighter. So I used the thin Oreo cookies for the crust. You take 20 of those. I really like this little chopper. There's lots of brands. You just put your cookies in there. Instead of beating them, it just chops them up so quickly. When you add your butter, I would add half. So instead of 4 tablespoons, put 2. That was absolutely plenty of butter. And then when I put it in the bottom, it's not a fine crust because of the cookie. It's quite crumbly. Expect that. Next, you have your pudding, and into your pudding is your milk, a cup of milk, and it says 1 teaspoon mint oil. That will really hurt you. So put 1 drop. And the dessert you're going to taste tonight is 1 drop. And some people like 2. But practice with it a little bit because that's not for a double distilled oil. So online, if you look up how to use oils in place of an extract, which we're really used to using as an extract, the oils are so pure and so concentrated. So put 1 drop in. The regular recipe called for 2 cups on top, or in the pudding, and 2 cups on top. I only put 1 cup on top because 2 cups of cream on top of the pudding seemed like a lot. But you can, if you really like cream. I also use the light cream. You could use a sugar-free pudding if you would like to. And then on top is some of the crumbled cookies and some Andes mints. We're going to, and I really like this. I think it's a really nice flavor mint dessert. And we're going to taste that tonight. So with that, do you have any questions? Well, thank you so very much. I'll be glad to answer your questions afterwards. Thank you.